Every honest investment on earth does the same thing. It zigzags. Up, down, a scary drop, sideways for a while, back up. That jagged line is what real money looks like, because the world is messy, and nobody wins every single day. Now picture a different line, one that just goes up, smooth, a clean little angle, year after year, in booms and in crashes, like it never even noticed the bad news. That line was the single biggest warning sign in the history of money. And for almost 30 years, thousands of smart, careful, wealthy people looked right at it and saw the opposite. They saw a genius. His name was Bernie Madoff, and he ran the largest Ponzi scheme that has ever existed, somewhere around $65 billion, without a single clever trick, no secret technology, no complicated math. The last fortune we buried, Enron, hid behind complexity so thick that nobody could explain it. Madoff was the exact opposite. He hid behind trust. And trust is a far more dangerous place for a lie to hide. Start with why everyone trusted him, because that is the whole key to this story. Bernie Madoff was not some flashy outsider nobody had heard of. He was Wall Street royalty. He helped build the Nasdaq, the electronic market the entire world trades on now. He served as its chairman. He ran a real, legitimate trading business on other floors of his own office. When a man like that offers to look after your money, you do not feel lucky. You feel safe. And he played it perfectly because he acted like he was doing you the favor. He made it hard to get in. He turned people away. So they begged their way in through a friend at the country club, at the synagogue, at the charity dinner. A Madoff account meant you had arrived, and nobody ever demands to see the books of the man everyone else is fighting to get to. That is the trap, and it is the whole con. The trust did the work that a fraud usually has to fake. Let me show you the machine underneath, because once you see it, you will spot this thing for the rest of your life. A Ponzi is almost insultingly simple. Madoff took your money and did not invest it, not in anything. He put it in a bank account. When you asked for some back or wanted to see your profit, he just handed you cash out of that same account. Money that came from the next person who signed up behind you. As long as more came in than went out, the vault looked full and everybody got paid on time. To make it real, his people printed statements. Gorgeous, detailed statements, full of trades that never happened. Stocks he never bought, always on the days that looked smart later. He even branded his fake strategy. He called it split strike conversion. It sounds like real finance, and that was the entire point. Say something complicated enough with a straight face, and most people just nod. And this is the miss that should have ended it years early. Madoff held the money and wrote the reports on the money. Turn that over in your own life for a second. If one man guards the safe and also tells you what is inside it, you do not actually know a single thing. There is no second set of eyes. That one missing check is the whole scheme. And somebody did see it. This is the part that should raise your blood pressure. A numbers guy named Harry Markopolos looked at Madoff's returns and did the math in an afternoon. His verdict was flat. This is impossible. Real markets do not move in a straight line. So the very smoothness that made everyone feel safe was, to a man who understood the math, the proof of a lie. Markopolos took it to the SEC, the government watchdog whose entire job is to catch exactly this. He did not hint. In 2005, he handed them a document titled, "The World's Largest Hedge Fund is a Fraud," with roughly 30 red flags laid out in a row. And they did almost nothing. Across the years, the SEC got at least 6 separate warnings about Bernie Madoff, and never once took the single basic step that ends every Ponzi. They never checked whether the trades were actually real. One phone call to confirm the stocks even existed, and the whole thing collapses. That call never got made. So the line kept climbing and the money kept pouring in, for years after a stranger had already handed the government the answer for free. Then 2008 arrived, and 2008 did not care how respected anybody was. The market fell apart, and Madoff's investors, some frightened, some just needing cash to cover their own lives, all started asking for their money back at the same time. About $7 billion in requests hit in a matter of days, and there was nothing there. There had never been anything there. The vault the whole world pictured was a checking account, and it was nearly empty. On December 10th, he finally told his sons the truth. He said the business was, in his own words, one big lie. His own sons turned him in that same night. The next morning, the FBI was at his door, and the most trusted name on Wall Street was finished. But the handcuffs are not the part that stays with me. It is the wreckage. This was not faceless money. It was retirements, erased in an afternoon. It was families who had put every dollar in one place precisely because it felt like the safe one. It was charities that did real good in the world and had to lock their doors the following week. And some of the people who lost everything did not survive the fall. A fraud like this does not just take money. It takes the years somebody spent earning it and a piece of every ounce of trust they had left to give. He was sentenced to 150 years, and for what he did to that many lives, it fit. But this grave holds one thing the others did not. Most of the money came home. A lawyer named Irving Picard spent more than a decade chasing down every dollar Madoff had paid out to the earlier investors and clawing it back. And in the end, the victims recovered around 94 cents on every real dollar they put in. For the biggest fraud in the history of the world, that is close to a miracle. And it is the one part of this story that hands you a little faith back. Now take the lesson, because this one is worth real money to you. Smooth is the warning. Anything that only ever goes up, that never has an ugly year, that stays calm while everything around it is on fire, has earned more suspicion, not less. Real growth is bumpy. That is how you know it is real. And never, ever let the same hand hold your money and grade its own homework. If you cannot get a statement from an independent custodian who actually holds your assets, you do not have proof. You have a story. A trusted name is not a safeguard. It is just a better-dressed risk. I learned the version of this that stuck with me on the job. 28 years, and the calls that frightened me most were never the loud ones. The screaming, the obvious injury. That is the patient you can actually help. It was the quiet ones. The person sitting up, calm, telling you they feel fine, while on the inside they are bleeding and the clock is already running. Calm on the surface is not the same thing as safe. Bernie Madoff was the calmest surface money has ever seen. This has been the money graveyard, where we dig up the fortunes that died so yours does not have to. Next time we do something different. We climb out of the graveyard for one of the survivors, a fortune that looked just as dead as any of these and clawed its way back into the light. I will see you there.